My beloved child, listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal is something you were never prepared to hear, yet it's the very truth your heart has been whispering in silence. Tonight, the air around you feels heavier for a reason, because destiny has finally confirmed what your soul feared the most. Your special person, the one whose presence has shaped your days, your choices, your quiet moments, they're leaving next week. Not rumor. Not intuition. Not a passing thought. It's real, and it's happening faster than your mind can process. But before your heart tightens, before your breath stumbles, hear this: their departure is not the end. It's the beginning of a revelation powerful enough to rewrite everything you thought you knew about why they came into your life in the first place. Something they never told you, something they've been hiding beneath smiles, pauses, and the lingering warmth of every moment they shared with you, is about to surface. And once you understand it, nothing about losing them will feel the way it does right now. Stay with me. Don't blink. Because every second from here is a step toward the truth they never had the courage to say out loud. But before we go deeper, breathe, because the next part will feel like someone is turning the pages of a story you didn't know was written about you. See, people don't just leave for no reason. They don't disappear the moment things get meaningful unless something bigger, much bigger, has been pulling them away long before you noticed the signs. And yes, the signs were there. The hesitation in their voice when they said, "I'm fine." The way they stared at you a second longer than usual, like they were memorizing your face without wanting you to know why. Or the messages they typed and deleted because the truth felt too heavy. They weren't distant, they were preparing. Preparing for the moment they'd have to walk away, not because they wanted to, but because life was dragging them forward faster than their heart could stay behind with you. And here's the twist you never expected: they thought leaving would protect you from something. Something happening on their side that you've sensed but never fully understood. Their silence wasn't rejection, it was a shield. Their distance wasn't disinterest, it was fear. And their leaving next week is not the ending. It's the doorway to the confession they never allowed themselves to speak. Now listen to this part without flinching, because this is where the real storm begins. The universe has been shifting around your connection for months, almost pushing both of you into a corner where truth becomes impossible to avoid. That next week moment? It's not random. It's aligned, timed, designed. Because their exit will trigger something inside you, something dormant, something powerful, something you've ignored. And simultaneously, it will force them to finally face the one feeling they've been running from, the one emotion they thought they could bury by leaving. But fate doesn't let unfinished stories stay unfinished. So even though they're leaving, the bond between you is entering a phase where hidden meanings begin to surface. Not the romantic clichés, not the fairy tale endings, but the raw, unfiltered truth of what you meant to them. Truth strong enough to shake you, heal you, and open your eyes to why they were placed in your life at the exact moment they were. Their departure is the spark. Your realization is the fire. And what happens after next week is the part neither of you saw coming. Stay here. Don't look away. The story has only just begun. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. My beloved child. Before we dive deeper, steady your heartbeat, because what comes next isn't just a continuation, this is the moment where the truth begins to glow through the cracks. You've been sensing a shift, a pull, a strange heaviness around your special person, almost like the universe has been whispering warnings in frequencies only your soul could hear. And now those whispers are turning into echoes. Their departure next week isn't just a physical goodbye. It's a ripple that will hit every corner of your life. But here's the twist that will keep you holding on: they didn't choose this distance. They didn't wake up one morning deciding to disconnect. Something, or someone, has been influencing their path, pushing them away even while their heart was still anchored to you. They're torn, caught between duty and desire, between what they're being pulled toward and the place where their heart actually feels safe. And even in their silence, even in their slipping presence, they've been hoping you'd somehow sense their struggle, hoping you'd see the emotions they hid behind half-finished texts and forced calmness. You were never imagining the tension. You were never reading too much into the pauses. The truth was breathing right next to you, and tonight, it finally starts unfolding. And before you blink, hear this: the moment they leave, something inside them will break open. The distance will snap a thread they've been quietly holding together. Because they've been pretending to be fine for far too long, carrying emotions they never said out loud, emotions they thought were safer buried. They convinced themselves that leaving would make things easier, easier for them, easier for you, easier for a connection they didn't know how to handle. But what they didn't expect is how powerful your presence has become in their life. You've become that rare kind of memory that refuses to fade. And next week, when they take that step away, the weight of everything unsaid will hit them harder than it hits you. Every glance they avoided, every truth they swallowed, every moment they pretended to be distant even though they cared more than they should have, those things will echo in their mind until they can no longer run from it. And this is where the shock comes in: their leaving isn't a final chapter. It's the moment they'll begin realizing that you weren't just part of their life, you were the turning point they weren't prepared to meet. Now listen closely, because this is the part where the universe opens its hand and reveals why you're hearing this message right now. What's coming next week will test your patience, your emotions, your strength, but you won't face it alone. Every second you stay here, every heartbeat you sync with this truth, you're stepping deeper into clarity. Clarity they never gave you, clarity destiny is giving you now. And before the next revelation drops, pause for a moment. If you're still here, if your heart hasn't looked away, if you feel the pull of this unfolding truth, then share this message with the person you trust the most, or the one who needs to hear something like this right now. Let others feel the shift that's happening here, because what's coming in part 3 will expose the secret your special person has been carrying all along. My beloved child, brace yourself, because this is where the truth stops whispering and finally reveals its face. You've been holding on to hope, fear, confusion, everything tangled inside you like a storm waiting to break. And now the storm begins. The real reason your special person is leaving next week isn't just circumstance, it's a truth they never had the courage to say. They've been carrying something heavy, something that started long before you came into their life. And instead of sharing it, instead of letting you in, they chose silence, believing that distance would protect you from the chaos they've been hiding. But what they didn't realize is that their silence created an even deeper pull, an unspoken tension that both of you could feel but neither dared to unravel. Every time they looked at you and quickly looked away, every moment they almost spoke and then swallowed their words, those weren't coincidences. They were battles. Inside them, inside their mind, inside their heart. And next week, when they step away, that battle is going to reach its breaking point. See, people don't leave because they stop caring. People leave when caring becomes so intense, so overwhelming, that it terrifies them. And that's exactly what happened with your special person. They weren't afraid of you, they were afraid of what you made them feel. You became a mirror, showing them the parts of themselves they spent years avoiding. You became a calm in their chaos, a light they didn't feel worthy of, a certainty in a life full of instability. And instead of accepting that blessing, they convinced themselves that stepping back was the safer path. They told themselves you'd be better off without the weight of their unspoken truths. But here's the twist destiny has been waiting to reveal: the more they try to distance themselves, the more they realize how deeply they're tied to you. And next week, when they take that step away, it won't bring them peace. It will bring them clarity. Clarity that every moment with you wasn't accidental. Clarity that every shift in their life was leading them toward you. Clarity that leaving won't erase what they feel; if anything, it will amplify it. And now, listen carefully, because this is the part your heart has been waiting for. The universe isn't taking them away to punish you. It's placing both of you in a moment where truth becomes impossible to run from. Their absence will speak louder than their presence ever did. You'll feel their energy still reaching for you. They'll feel your memory pressing into their thoughts at the exact moments they try to move forward. This separation isn't an ending, it's the doorway where unfinished emotions start rising to the surface. And when that happens, when everything they buried begins demanding to be acknowledged, the story between you is going to shift in a way neither of you expects. Stay ready. Stay aware. Because the next revelation in Part 4 will expose the moment everything changes for both of you. My beloved child, breathe slowly, because this is the moment where the entire story flips. Everything you've been feeling. The tension in your chest, the strange heaviness around their name, the silent pull in your thoughts, it's all been leading here. Next week isn't just the week they leave, it's the week something inside them finally cracks open. They've been wrestling with a truth so powerful, so overwhelming, that they couldn't speak it while standing in front of you. Their heart wasn't running away from you, it was running from itself. And the moment they step away, the silence around them is going to hit like a wave. No distractions. No excuses. No pretending. Just the raw, unfiltered truth they've been hiding behind every half-hearted smile and every forced moment of calm. They thought leaving would simplify things. But what they don't know yet is that distance doesn't weaken real bonds, it exposes them. And the moment they feel the space between you growing, that hidden truth they've been holding back will ignite, and they'll realize exactly what they've been trying to escape. And here's where destiny drops the biggest revelation: their leaving isn't the universe taking something from you, it's the universe forcing them to confront everything they've avoided. While they're away, every memory of you becomes louder. Every moment they thought they forgot resurfaces. Every feeling they buried starts demanding answers. And for the first time, they won't be able to run. They won't be able to hide behind distractions or timing or fear. They'll finally understand why they felt so connected to you, why no one else felt the same, why your presence had a strange pull they couldn't explain. The emotional weight they carried, the story they never shared, the truth they locked inside themselves. Next week is the beginning of it all unfolding. And when clarity hits them, it won't be gentle. It will shake them, wake them, and push them to realize what they should have told you long before life pulled them away. This isn't a goodbye. It's the silent point before a confession neither of you saw coming. Now listen to this part carefully, because you're not just a listener in this story, you're a witness to something rare. If you're still here, still watching, still feeling this message resonate inside you, then let this moment ripple outward. Share this message with someone who feels the same shift in their life, someone who's sensing a change, someone who's standing at the edge of something they can't explain. And if your heart feels called to stay close to this unfolding truth, then hold your place right here, because what's coming next isn't just emotional, it's life-shifting. The story isn't ending. It's preparing to reveal the part where everything finally makes sense. My beloved child, steady yourself, because what I'm about to reveal is the moment the entire truth stops hiding. You've walked through confusion, silence, distance, and unanswered questions. But now the veil finally lifts. The reason their departure feels so heavy, so impossible to ignore, is because destiny isn't taking them out of your story, it's forcing them to face the part of it they've been terrified to acknowledge. They've been holding something inside, something big enough to shake every connection they've ever had. And the closer next week comes, the more that truth presses against their chest. They thought they could leave quietly. They thought they could slip away without confronting the feelings they buried. But the universe doesn't let people walk away from the connections that are meant to transform them. And the deeper they step into this upcoming distance, the louder their heart will echo your name. That's the part they weren't prepared for, the part destiny is bringing to the surface right now. Listen closely, because this next reveal is the force that ties the title to the truth. They're not just leaving next week, they're leaving because they reached a point where pretending no longer works. Their life is shifting, changing, rearranging itself in ways they didn't expect. And through all of it, you've become the one person whose presence unsettles their fear and awakens their courage at the same time. That's why they avoided eye contact. That's why they hesitated to speak. That's why they kept their feelings locked tight. You weren't just someone in their life, you were the turning point they didn't feel ready for. Leaving isn't their escape, it's their breaking point. And when they walk into that next week, the reality they've been pushing down will rise with full force. They'll feel the weight of every memory with you, every silent moment that meant more than words, every feeling that grew stronger every time they tried to deny it. And that realization will hit them harder than the distance ever could. And now, my beloved child, here comes the moment destiny has been guiding you toward. The universe isn't preparing you for loss. It's preparing you for revelation. Their departure opens a path that neither of you saw coming. A path where they finally understand the one truth their heart could never hide, that what they feel for you doesn't fade with distance, it grows. And as they step away next week, something inside them will pull them back emotionally, spiritually, instinctively. They will feel the shift. You will feel the echo. And both of you will stand at the edge of a moment where the story doesn't collapse. It awakens. This isn't the end. This is the silent point before destiny pushes the truth straight into the light. Stay with me, because part 6 will reveal the moment everything finally connects. My beloved child, prepare your heart, because what comes now is the moment where everything that felt confusing, overwhelming, or unfinished finally aligns into a truth so powerful it changes the entire meaning of their departure. You've watched the signs, felt the pull, sensed the shift in their energy long before they even admitted it to themselves. But now destiny is stepping forward, clearing the fog around the question that's been haunting you: why now? Why next week? Why this sudden turning point? The answer is sharper than emotion, deeper than intuition. They're leaving because life has placed them in a space where they can no longer run from the storm inside them. For months, they've been carrying a truth too heavy to speak, a feeling too raw to hide, and a fear too real to face in your presence. And next week becomes the exact moment the universe forces that truth to surface. The distance they're stepping into isn't a punishment, it's a mirror. A mirror that will reflect everything they've been hiding, every emotion they swallowed, every moment they almost confessed but froze because the intensity of what they felt shook them more than they were ready to admit. Their leaving is not an escape, it's their awakening. And here's where the revelation deepens beyond anything you expected. While they're physically away, their inner world will begin to unravel in ways that expose everything they tried to silence. The quiet moments they once used to numb their feelings will start reminding them of you. The routines that once distracted them will feel empty. The people around them will suddenly seem distant because the emotional gravity they've been resisting pulls them right back toward the one place their heart never stopped orbiting, you. They will think of your voice in moments when everything feels too loud. They will remember your presence when the world feels too heavy. They will replay conversations, glances, emotions they tried to brush off, and none of it will fade. Instead, the distance will amplify it. Their realization won't come gently, it will hit them like a wave they can't outrun. Because leaving doesn't erase a bond like this. It exposes it. And when they finally face the truth they've been avoiding, they'll understand something they weren't ready to accept before, that the connection between you wasn't temporary, accidental, or replaceable. It was the turning point of their story, the one chapter they can't skip no matter how far they travel. Now listen closely, because this is where everything begins to connect with the force of a revelation long overdue. Next week marks the moment where two stories go in separate directions, not to break, but to reveal. You'll feel a shift, subtle at first, then intense, like the universe is pulling both of you into a deeper understanding of why you crossed paths at the exact moment you did. Their silence will speak louder than their presence. Their absence will carry messages their voice never dared to express. And somewhere in the space between their leaving and your waiting, a realization will ignite, one that neither of you can ignore anymore. This isn't the end of a connection. This is the point where destiny pushes both of you out of the shadows of confusion and into a dawn where truth finally steps into the light. The next part of the story doesn't pull you apart. It prepares you. Because what comes after this distance is the moment everything they hid, everything you felt, everything left unsaid begins to take shape in a way that will leave neither of you unchanged. Stay ready, because Part 7 will uncover the moment when destiny finally turns back toward you. My beloved child, slow down your thoughts, because what I'm about to unveil isn't just another piece of the story. This is the moment where the entire energy around your connection starts shifting shape. Everything you felt building inside you, the ache, the anticipation, the strange sense that something bigger is moving beneath the surface. It's all been guiding you toward this exact point. Their leaving next week may look like distance on the outside, but spiritually, emotionally, and energetically, it's the moment where the invisible thread between you tightens instead of loosens. The universe has been preparing both of you for a moment of collision, one that only becomes possible when the truth each of you tried to hide is finally too loud to ignore. They're stepping away, yes. But that step is the spark. The catalyst. The ignition point where the truth they've been suppressing begins to break open inside them with a force they can't shut down anymore. And what comes next is something neither of you saw coming, yet both of you have been feeling without understanding why. Because here's the revelation destiny has been holding back until now. They're not just leaving next week, they're stepping into the exact moment where their heart will confront them with everything they tried to avoid. And no matter how far they go, no matter how much they try to stay composed, your presence will follow them like a pulse beneath their thoughts. They'll feel it when they wake up. They'll feel it in the pauses between their responsibilities. They'll feel it when everything grows quiet enough for their true emotions to surface. This is the week where all the feelings they buried rise with a clarity so sharp it almost scares them. They'll remember the way you looked at them at moments they pretended not to notice. They'll replay the conversations where their voice shook because they almost let the truth slip out. They'll realize that the comfort they felt around you wasn't ordinary, it was rare, once-in-a-lifetime rare. And when that realization hits them in the stillness of their new reality, something profound will click inside them. They will finally understand why the universe made your paths cross exactly when it did, and why walking away feels nothing like freedom and everything like losing a piece of themselves they didn't know they needed. And now, my beloved child, here comes the shift that echoes louder than any goodbye. As they move into next week, a new awareness begins to rise inside you too. A sense that something is aligning. A sense that the silence between you is no longer empty, it's charged. Their story and yours aren't drifting apart, they're stretching, preparing to snap back with more truth, more clarity, more emotional gravity than ever before. You are entering the phase where destiny stops whispering and starts guiding. Where signs become stronger. Where intuition becomes louder. Where the connection you thought was slipping away begins to reveal its deeper purpose. This isn't heartbreak. This isn't an ending. This is the moment the universe pulls both of you into the transition that leads to the truth neither of you had the courage to confront until now. Stay here, because Part 8 will reveal what happens the moment their heart finally stops running. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20.